We're up $2,200 on the season, and we've got another $1,000 riding in Mexico. This week, we've got bets on George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, and others. As always, the full show's live on YouTube, but the F1000 highlight show starts now. Starting off, as always, with our lock of the week. This week, and stop me if you've heard it before, our lock is going to be on the Mercedes. We've got both Mercedes to finish in the top 10. It's minus 300, and we're putting $500 on this week. We've got George and Lewis starting in P2 and P3 respectively. We talked a lot about how Mexico's high altitude requires the teams to run their maximum downforce package. The Mercedes naturally caters towards a high downforce track, where the drag effect, specifically here at Mexico, is less significant. We saw the top speeds where the Mercedes was actually faster on the straight than the Ferrari this weekend. Couple that with the consistent reliability of the Mercedes, which you've heard us talk about week in and week out. We feel very comfortable putting the bulk of our investment on the Mercedes to finish in the top 10. Both cars in the points. It's minus 300, and we've got $500 on it this week.
Yeah. Bet number 2 is plus 150 for Alfa Romeo to have either one or both cars fail to classify, and we're betting $100. The high altitude means brakes and power units will need to work harder to remain at optimal temperatures, and the struggles of the Ferrari power unit are well documented this year. Bottas could see his power unit struggle at some point during the race. And even though Zhou Guanyu took new engine components last week in Austin, he's still a rookie on a slippery track, and we like fading the Alfa Romeos at plus 150 for $100.
Next up, we've got a fun one. It's Lewis Hamilton to lead the first lap of this race. Now, it's a bit of a flyer. We're not going to go too big on it. It's plus 450, and we're putting $100 on this. Now, it is well justified. We spoke about the setup of the Mercedes catering towards this circuit and the conditions with the altitude and the downforce. Another unique factor about the Mexican Grand Prix is the 800-meter run from the start-finish into Turn 1. Historically, P3 on the grid has won the last 2 races here. We don't need Lewis to win, but we do see him taking the lead potentially into that Turn 1 and holding it for the first lap. It's plus 450, Lewis Hamilton to lead coming across the line at the end of the first lap. We've got $100 on it.
And our final bet is our favorite, and that's 3 or more race leaders at minus 200, and we're betting $300. Chaps, you mentioned that 800-meter run down from the starting line into Turn 1, giving Lewis and George a tow, and we think that there's a chance that they could pop in front of Max early, hold on for a lap like you just talked about. Plus, you've got Checo starting in P4. He could outlast them all, as he's one of the best at managing his tire wear, especially on a rear-limited track. The optimal race strategy in Mexico is to make 2 stops, and that opens up even more opportunity for a new driver to take the lead of this race at some point. And we like 3 or more race leaders at minus 200 for $300.